Well, hello boys and girls, welcome to part 2 of the anniversary Spitfire build. Now if you have no idea what this is all about, check the video up here, that is part 1 where I explain everything. You go there, watch the video and then come back here, alright? See you soon. This video contains a resume of the build. I will talk a bit about the PE landing flaps that I used. I had to fill some gaps and then it's finally time for priming, pre-shading, marbling or whatever, and then painting and weathering, and of course at the very end showing off a bit with my Spitfire F MK.VII in what? Oh yeah, right. We don't have much time. The video got quite long, so we don't have time for chatting. Here's the intro. So that's the cockpit so far. Now I'm using the Tamiya Weathering Master. I like that technique. It's kind of I like that product. It's kind of a, you know, quick makeup. A quick weathering makeup. Just switch between the sponge and the brush, apply it maybe with the sponge, then fade it into the surface with the brush, or kind of a dry brush it straight on. I just wanted to make the floor a bit dusty. So I couldn't show you guys how I attached the cockpit and glued the fuselage together because my battery died. The battery died on me, and now looking back, I'm lucky it did. I'm lucky it did die on me, because if I would have filmed the moment where I was trying to get that cockpit, fit that cockpit in there and put the two halves together, there would have been a lot of cursing. I managed to put the PE landing flaps in place and glue them on. I had to glue them on several times. They kept coming off. I was cutting it here. It's not a clean cut, really not. I mean, it's the first time I'm doing this. I don't like it. I don't like the way I managed to do it, but it's there. I mean, once you start it, you have to go all the way. So I'm trying to go all the way and reduce the damage by, you know, this is not the finished look. This is not the finished look. I will have these flaps covering, so this will not be completely open, of course. I have to somehow place the flaps, and yeah, that's giving me nightmares already. The marriage has been fulfilled. The wings are glued onto the fuselage. Was a bit sweaty in the beginning, but once I got it attached here and there, yeah, I could manage it. But yeah, that's not what we call a good fit, right? Yeah, I mean, I didn't paint anything black. These are gaps, okay? I will use the Vallejo plastic putty. Very good stuff. Okay, so first apply the putty with the spatula. That's how I do it. Then tear it off, so only the remains in the gap will stay. Then I use a brush dipped in water to clean it around and maybe to smoothen the surface a bit. Here's the result. The thing is that it has shrinkage. You see it here? There's a small hole. That was just building during the drying process. Taking care of the front of the upper half of the fuselage, sand it down by using the OK tool. Now it's time to take care of the clear parts. I use the Tamiya diamond file to carefully clean the parts. Now this thing can't be cleaned. It's where it was attached to the sprues. I didn't have a mask for the canopy, so I made my own masks by using Tamiya tape and a pencil and just paint alongside the edges. Then I taped it to my cutting mat and cutted it out carefully with my blade. Take it off and place it on the canopy and see if it did a good job. You'll find out in the end. If you have a simple canopy, it's actually an easy way to do it. I'm cleaning the inside, and then I'm painting it, kind of painting it with the Humbrol Clear. Just, you know, it's a gloss varnish. They say you can use it to like gloss up your canopies, and I wanted to see if it works. In the end, the canopy got a real nice glossy shine. I don't know exactly if it was the Humbrol which created that. Now it's time to glue the canopy onto the model by using white PVA glue.
Just a bit. Just a tap, just a tap. Not that much.
And it was difficult, man. It was tricky to do it. I mean, it hardly even touches the canopy part, you know, at the edges. It hardly even touched it on one side, and it was, you know, too much on the other side. So it was really tricky to get it there. The fit, it's a very challenging fit. Of the entire kit, actually. The entire kit has a very challenging fit. Okay, primer time. First I tried out on some small parts before that primer goes on to the lower surface, first for the first coat. This is how we dry a Spitfire, and this is the finished result. You saw that I used the Vallejo black primer, the acrylic primer. Now it's time for a pre-shading, or let's say a marbling. I'm using white and apply it into the panels. Try to avoid the panel lines, just place it inside the panels. This is how it would look in the end. Now I had another idea. I'm doing small splats just to break the surface. Try to break the surface even more by pressing very gently on the airbrush, and it will spit out some small drops of white. Just to break it. I switched the airbrush to my Harder and Steenbeck Infinity Plus and used some AK Azure Blue, RAF Azure Blue. Just randomly filled some of the panels with the Azure Blue. Not that easy to spray with these lacquer paints. To get more variation, I now switched to wood, and there again, just randomly, some panels are sprayed in wood. And I also used a dark brown, a kind of a earth brown or something, a chocolate brown or something, to create some darker shades. Now I'm using the green chromate, light green chromate, just to highlight the details. And it's time for the RAF Pro Blue for the lower surface, the lower half of the fuselage. Just do a first coat, try to stay inside the panels, let it dry a moment, so it'll be ready for the second coat. I was trying to really make sure that I don't cover up too much of the marbling and pre-shading that I did. This is the moment I've been waiting for since years now. Since years. Honestly, because when I bought this kit, I also bought the Italy acrylic paints with it. Now at that time, I really thought it was a very good idea. Now, meanwhile, I'm not so sure about it anymore, because Italy acrylic paints, I don't know, I haven't seen anybody use this. And I don't know if that is a good sign. I don't think so. Finally, I'm here building the Spitfire. Here she is. And I did the pre-shading and marbling and whatever. I will only use this color here. That will be the main color. It's the flat medium sea gray. So meanwhile, you should know that I'm living in the danger zone. So I haven't tried it out yet. Never opened it, never tried it before. Now I'm gonna try to paint the Spitfire, and I don't really want to mess it up. The undercarriage and everything is really nice. I like the color so far. Maybe I will open it, try to mix it, and see that the color is completely rubbish. I don't have this flat medium sea gray of any other paint range right now. I don't have it here. I only have this. So all my hopes are on this one. So what we're gonna do first, of course, because this was now here in my shelf for 2 years or something or more. Shake it well. This looks very thick. Airbrush thinner. Let's see how it reacts. Didn't explode. Guess that's a good news. I'm gonna drop some flow improver in it. Ooh, that reacts. I don't know if that was a good idea. Let's see if I can mix this. Yeah, maybe it was just breaking the surface. We need a bit more thinner. I'm close, I'm close. I don't know. More, huh? 3 drops. That's a lot of thinner now. Meanwhile, it's a lot of thinner. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, let's do it. I got a test object. That will be my test object. Hey, stay focused. Like me, I'm staying focused, bro. Go down to 10, 15, 10. Let's try it out here on the piece of paper. Oh, okay, it's flowing. Yeah. I gotta be careful, I'm telling you that. Let's go. And no masking, yeah? No masking. Where's the paint? I can't. Ooh, it's difficult, bro. And although I really thinned down that paint, it was difficult to spray it on in an equal, nice fashion. It was a bit difficult, but somehow I did it. Somehow I did it. Now you can see very nicely the color variations, the different tones. It's all the same flat medium sea gray, but what's underneath, that is what is important. So now this is the start for all the weathering steps. Like here I'm using some shaders before I gloss coat the model, because the shaders, they should be applied on a flat surface, not on a glossy surface. But once you start the weathering and use washes and oil brushes and weathering pencils and whatever you use, it will all start tied together, you know, together with the marbling and the pre-shading you did, it will start to tie together. At the beginning, it maybe looks a bit maybe over the top, but with the weathering, I think, that's my personal impression, it will start, you know, to tie together. And that's what I really love. Like, the more layers you put down, the more, you know, like it becomes a unity. I love that. So, gloss coat is on, let it dry quickly, then the second gloss coat. Bam. And this is a Rebel enamel color, the Linden Green. That's the color I chose to spray the nose. That's like a rhyme, bro. Okay, weathering has started officially. These are the weathering pencils. I already did some steps with the oil brushes, but I couldn't record it. As you may notice that my table is different, the light is different, everything is different. That's because my hobby room, or our basement actually, got flooded with water and my room was destroyed. I had to move everything out, and here I'm just temporary in the first floor, try to finish the Spitfire. So, you know, I really had a lot of problems, a lot of challenges with this build. Not only the PE parts, there was also a flood in my hobby room during that build. Now these are my favorite pigments to do smoke. It's this carbon black, smoke black. So these are the final steps, the final steps. Just assemble the last bits and bytes of the model. I mean, these very small parts, I tend to really only glue it on in the end because I will break them off 50 times during the build. Using a bit of Tamiya liquid cement and some Uhu PVA white glue. What I'm trying to do here is to make the lights, the red and green lights on the left and right wing, look a bit more realistic by simply painting them, kind of painting them with PVA glue. It will dry. When it dries, it's going to be clear and kind of glossy. So that's almost it. It's time to have a look at the finished build. So just after that, we will start with the montage of the finished build. I hope you enjoyed it. There were a lot of challenges during that build, but I'm really proud and glad I still went through. I still did it. I didn't quit. So let's have a look at the finished build.